This is 3v3 League Division 2, and we have Parabellum versus Noobsquad here on Runestones. So the rules say draft civilizations per map. It's an extremely simple draft. 3 civs. So guest picks 1 civ, host picks 2 civs, and then 2 civs and 1 civ. So, but oh, right onto the action here, Robo with the lame. Not going to leave the caster with any time to introduce the civs here. Goes straight for the lame, which is allowed according to the rules. Any and all laming allowed, even snagging 2 sheep along the way. And this is Mayans laming the Ethiopians. This is brutal. Laming a bit RG, but still completely allowed. And since it's an Eagle Scout laming here, if you really don't enjoy scouting, you could garrison the Eagle inside the TC and heal it a bit as well. It's an infantry unit. Nice and easy lane there for Robo Burrow with the Mayans. Eagle Scout speed matching that of the boar nicely, so it's a little bit easier to bring it home. But the main point being you could actually heal up your scout if you're a vessel civ. Didn't find his own second boar though, so there's potential for counter lame here for Banstenok, but I guess that by now Banstenok realizes that 1 boar is gone. He'll need to compensate, but there are 4 deer as well here on the runestones, so should be possible for Banstenok to compensate for the boar loss at least. Looks like YOLO Boy could try and get some lame in as well, but runs right into TC Fire. Will be losing the scout. Might be able to get 1 pig here. But yeah, scout going down for very little value there, unfortunately. Now for the civilizations, we have Pete with the Franks over here. Very solid pocket civilizations, as we know. It's instant farm upgrades, giving them a nice eco and cavalry plus 20% hit points, castles 25% discount, all set up nicely for both a great eco and boom and to defend it while using your mobility to your advantage. Probably going to be like the 19 or 20 pop scouts here for the Franks, we'll see. Bringing in the second board just now. Robo off to a rocket start here. Only 4 seconds of idle tease time with the Mayans. Mayans start with 1 extra villager as well. So once the other players get loom, that's when Robo will be going out ahead in the villager count here. Dropping a barracks now at some 19 pop here. Could be indicative of a men-at-arms opening against the Ethiopians here, actually. Also just a post-meal drush, but yeah, a bit... Didn't take it to gold, so it's not a drush. Or it's just an early barracks for defensive purposes. So Franks, Mayans, and then finally to the left-hand side, Vietnamese for Young Panda. Revealing the locations, making it easier to lame as well, right? Because you know exactly the location of the town center of the opponent. So that's also one to consider. You have Britons here for YOLO Boy. And Ethiopians on the flank for Banstenok, which means that the Britons and Ethiopians, they will be producing their archers 20% faster. While Ethiopians stack on top of that bonus with 20% firing archers, faster firing archers as well. Simtov with the Chinese pocket, that's a bit of an odd one off here. Playing with Chinese pocket, they still have great economy with their extra 3 starting villagers if you can keep that idle TC low, and that is indeed low for Simtov here. 22 pop scouts at the almost comparable timing to the Franks. 20 pop here, so 23 pop, sorry. So that's going to be, I'm assuming, Simptom plays the scouts here. Could then go absolutely warrant going into earlier upgrades or just benefit from that scouts food economy into a very healthy castle age where Chinese also have the option of camels. Just making a quick tag to the team captains there to let them know that their game is being casted. Walls in progress here, and Robo did go for a couple of militia here. No man-at-arms upgrade by the looks of it, just the militia being intercepted by enemies. Not enemy scout, but enemy units somehow here, and might be fought off by villagers and the starting scout, I guess. Oh, but getting value here. That's one villager down, 2 villagers down for Banstenok. After all, great value from these opening militia, delaying both ranges from the Ethiopians as well. Big deal here with the production further being delayed here. Pete is on point with the Frank scouts here as well. Teamed up with the scouts as well. 3 scouts currently joining up with Banstock with the Ethiopians here. The walls not too far off for Symptom. Peculiar walling here to the edge, but it's probably just to limit the point of entry. It's just one gate, quick gate, or a couple of houses away here from the dying entry. Looks like Young Panda has the walls in place here at home. We're about to get to them. No opening to the side there. Scouts versus scouts, favoring the Franks here since they have more hit points, as you should be able to see. However, Ethiopians archers, if they work together with the teammate scouts here, that helps us. Oh, again, the attention here from Pete sees the villager building the march forward blacksmith here, and the delays that which delays fletching as well. Thanks for the follow, Robo. Let's see, Valstock has lost 3 villagers thus far. He's losing the archers to the scouts of Pete as well, and finally the blacksmith goes up, so fletching will be right on the way soon enough, I'm sure. Pete, Simpom, sorry, has the 19 on food by now, should be able to field more scouts, but with Pete's 6 scouts out and about here, Pete has the advantage both in terms of hit points and numbers. And is also joined now by Robo's Mayans archers. They are 10% cheaper for the Mayans in the feudal age, 20 in the castle age, 30 in the imperial age, so that advantage just escalates. But at least Ethiopians and Britons have faster producing ranges, so they should be set for the potential of outmassing because of the production speed. Scrambling up a house here near the tower for Banstenok. Does not want the scouts or archers to camp underneath the towers here, so it's good defense here, keeping the woodland and gold somewhat safe, but under heavy duress here regardless. In the meantime, Simptom seems to be walled at home, so that at the very least keeps that 2 vs 1 scenario to happen at the Chinese pockets home base. Looking at the resource disposition here, it's in Symptom keeps that Wilder lead from the Chinese start as well, even though Pete's idleness time is low as well. Good aggression from Noobsquad on Parabellum's Ethiopian's flank though. And top side, it looks like Yellow Boy and Young Panda are going to have a match up here. Vietnamese with the extra hit points, Britons eventually with the extra range, but that's not kicking in until Castle Age. So for now they are tied in upgrades. Yeah, they are. Both with fletching, none of them with armor. And quite similar in numbers as well. However, double ranges producing faster for the Britons means that as the reinforcements join in, the red player is looking at a better fight here. Also taking the heal should be a good engagement for the Britons here with the heal advantage. Yeah, HP advantage for the Vietnamese, not enough here. Oh, the scouts are in for Pete. Symptom with the market foundation there to scramble up some walling here to keep some of the aggression out, but the scouts are in, so now the Chinese pocket is going to lose that Wilder's advantage, while all of Noobsquad are also on the way to the Castle Age here. Parabellum all in the feudal age, Noobsquad on the way to the Castle Age. They are establishing a solid eco and technology lead here with the current efforts. Yellow Boy with the faster production as well, 21 archers to 14 triple ranges for the Vietnamese actually to try and keep up with the Britons. And of course we'll want to be careful here. Taking the choke point between the walls here, it's still a good fight for Yellow Boy over here. Diminishing those archer numbers significantly over the Vietnamese. I guess that's a worthwhile fight to take, considering that there's 1 minute to go for Castle Age for Young Panda here. Only 8 archers now to benefit from the crossbow upgrade. Going to be maybe 15 or 20 as the Castle Age kicks in. But that's, yeah, good engagement by the Britons here. Symptom now joining in as well. Is Bloodlines in? It is indeed. No upgrades otherwise, but Castle Age also on the way. And the only player now yet to click Castle Age is Banstenak, who took a heavy beating in the late dark, early feudal age. This could be worrisome for the Vietnamese player here. Creek House is going up again, but the scouts are there to stop that, splitting up the armies as well. One little group joining with the archers, the other one hitting the gold. Nice army management here for Symptom to get maximum value out of the raids. And these scouts could be considered expendable at this point as well, because we are on the way to the Castle Age. We'll be making knights out of probably double, even triple stables here for the Chinese. And with the Chinese technology discounts, they will be saving some resources for army production purposes as well. Even if the Pete with the Frank's pocket is already up here. 2 stables producing and also booming consistently across 3 TCs here. Oh, Banstenlock is going to take a beating again here now. Robo is here with 22 crossbows. And raiding what can be raided here. Banstock will never want to consider a fight here. I think he even bought stone for a tower here. He has stone in the back, but obviously you want to keep your villagers on wood and gold or whatnot, so you are able to produce your archers, not mining stone at this point. Still good defense. These foundations here keep the crossbows from easily entering the exposed economy here. They need to pass next to the TC. However, being joined by the Frank's pocket armies here, we have 11 knights out and about now for Pete and with feudal age archers. There's only so much you can do against that kind of combination here. So this is Arabia meta play at its best here, just establishing an advantage early on and doubling up on the flank and taking out villagers so you could capitalize on the eco lead with for your own team, and at the same time being able to field more armies and replenish more easily as the units go down. Left hand side we have a Yellow Boy in the cast stage with the Britons now, though, has that extra range, which is always annoying to be up against. Vietnamese players struggling to keep up with the Britons' production, because Britons produce faster, as you know, but it's going to take a tremendous amount of damage for Yellow Boy to the left to compensate for Bonstenok's situation here now. It's on the way to the cast stage, it's preserving some of the archer numbers as well. Chinese triple stable, nice production here, all joining in to defend Bonstenok's base. And definitely getting some pick-offs here as well. But now at this point, Noobsquad, they are with wheelbarrow and even handcart for the pocket here. That makes it the economy even more fluent for the nice production. They are roughly 30 villages ahead at this point, maybe even a slight bit more, and being consistently earlier to the cast stage, which always boosts your attack and damage when on the offensive like this. Bonstenok has been defending nicely and keeping the units alive. They only lost 6 villagers to this 2 vs 1 aggression along the way. Another town center for the Vietnamese here on the gold and on the wood line, but is this enough armies to defend that? 35 Britain's crossbows to 22 Vietnamese ones here. Pete's with some stray knights on Yellow Boy's side as well. No point of entry as far as you can see. That might be an overchop on the other side, but that's on the far side, so that's not something Pete will scout by default. With that said, Parabellum, they are behind in the conduit. They are doing their best to mass units still. They're 20 military behind. They're overall behind by almost 80 pop at minute 30 here. So as long as it's cast stage fighting and even upgrades, this might work out if their army management, micromanagement is on point here. But once Noobsquad starts transitioning towards the next stage, it's going to be a real pickle to be up against the strong Imperial Age units. Are blessed with their extra range and cavalry with armor, making it a lot more difficult to take them out with your cavalry or ranged units. Symptom leaving Bonstenok to the 2 vs 1 here on the right hand side, or in large part doing so, while assisting the Britons pushing Young Panda, who's been taking some units losses here, right? Negative KD for Young Panda, lost some builders as well. Knights, however, a bit too far ahead from the crossbows here now, but maybe it's just to make an opening for Yellow Boy to enter and keep pushing here. Ballistics is in for most of the Archers players here, actually not for Young Panda. Well, let's see Bonstenok's side. 2 more villagers lost. 43 villagers for Bonstenok, 76 for Robo, and also on the way to the Imperial Age here now with the Mayans. 3 TCs. Did start off early with a lame, which is allowed. And secured not only 340 food worth of boar meat through the lane, but also the longer lasting resources of the Mayans, giving even a little bit more out of that food steal. Really boosts your food age and allows for a smooth transition to the next ages as well, with even more easily affordable eco upgrades. Magadon against Britons, always a bit awkward because the Britons crossbows, they have the same. They outrange the Magadon, so I have one more range. Yeah, that's true, you stole 2 sheep as well. I got those, which makes it even worse for the Ethiopians, unfortunately. That is more than 500 food to benefit from for Robo, and obviously 500 food lost for Banstadonk, who pushed the deer and recovered nicely, all things considered. But definitely a huge disadvantage, especially against a strong eco-civ like the Mayans. Diving here, especially since Robo is in the Imperial Age now, they have to dive, they have to diminish the crossbow numbers before they become Arbalists, as many as possible. Bracer Arbalists coming in here. This should still be a cleanup for Robo with the... or, cleanup. They should trade somewhat evenly here. And it means that the Banstock loses most of the crossbows as well. Now at 4 ranges production though, there's Arbalest upgrade. Yeah, it is a cleanup. Robo is still left with 20 plus Arbs here after the upgrade, and now has dirt cheap Arbalests from the ranges. Is 6 ranges producing now for the Mayans player. It's 30% discount. Young Panda lost 5 villagers throughout the game, but has also been with 3 TCs for a while now. 93 villagers compared to the Britons' 87. It's a technology lead for the Britons here, with Imperial Age on the way and 40 something crossbows to become Arbalests. So still potential for the Britons to do significant damage here. Here comes Pete with the cavalry though, but there's a choke point for the crossbows here to be taken, also next to the woodline. But, still nasty position for Yellow Boy to be in when on the way to the Imperial Age like this. Pete doesn't commit, actually can't commit, of course, with all these hiding spots for the crossbows. If there's a choke point to hide in for the archers units like this, the knights will only be able to hit 2 or 3 or 4 crossbows at a time, and they'll be getting lots more kills than they should be getting. 47 kills for this group, by the way. So that's pretty darn decent. And I seem to have missed the Imperial Age kicking off Pete here. 43 knights and counting. Plate barding armor coming in. Cavalier coming in. Coinage coming in for Robo. Maybe planning to sling some excess resources here, which is allowed in the Imperial Age, but not before. Left hand side here, both players. Oh, denied at 98%. How did I miss that? Great, great castle denial by Young Panda there, and the pressure. It's too much for Parabellum to handle here. Bondstock is basically stuck in the castle age here, as you can tell from the resource bar. Took a very necessary fight against Robo's crossbows before arms, but with the dirt cheap Mayans Arbalest in the Imperial Age, they're so easy to replenish anyway. Noobsquad takes the first one. Let's have a look at the stats. Yeah, solid performance by Robo with the Mayans here. Yeah, 152 to 103. KD, Yellow Boy as well, pushing nicely on the other side, but not enough to keep his team in it, unfortunately. Balsnok with 10:02 fuel age time, losing 500 food, I'd call that an accomplishment. And that 100 food, 100 gold, or Ethiopians helping a little bit to get to some archer production in the field age once we get there. Cast age, of course, impacted by the 2 vs 1 situation and the rough dark age that Banstock had here. So, but very nicely defended for a long while there, only losing 6 villagers to huge army pressure from Noobsquad. That's it for the first one. We'll be going to Hideout now. Hideout. And where are we? Here we are. They're allowed to use the same civilization, so we'll see Britons use this time, but this is for Robo, so switching it up between the teams here. Let's just dive into it and see what the second game brings us. Alright, so Hideout, semi-safe map with your palisades walls encircling your start, so it's like the economy arena, not stone walls, but palisade walls. Let's just see what the civilizations will bring here. Symptom with the Vikings. Immediately for me, Men-at-Arms Towers comes to mind because Vikings have 20% hit points for their infantry starting in the Feudal Age. But of course, you could play just plain archers or get a ginormous boom going as well. You could opt for some walls to the side here to eliminate any early aggression from Robo from the right-hand side with the Britons. Depends. But Men-at-Arms Towers, one way to make efficient Feudal Age aggression on Hideout. It obviously puts your economy behind because you're going up early and you're investing food and gold into your infantry units and stone into the towers. But you'll be able to break through the palisade gates and upset your opponent, and especially if your opposing flank is going for somewhat more of a fast castle approach. The Men-at-Arms and Towers could really obstruct that. We'll see how it goes as the game progresses here. Yellow boy in the pocket with the Khmer here. Commonly seen on the Hideout is Khmer fast castle straight into 3 TCs. You could do it as low as 23 population comfortably and still be able to afford 2 town centers. Of course, you could make a fast castle for the same purpose for some knights production with the Khmer as well. Just skip the Feudal Age altogether and just... because Khmer don't need any buildings to go up. You see, no, these are the buildings needed to go to the next stage, but Khmer don't have that bar, they don't need any. But likely going to boom for a while, and Hideout being a potential choke point in the map, we might see Khmer Scorpions shine here with their extra range and double crossbow, unique technology firing more projectiles. 2 projectiles instead of 1. On top side here we have Bounced and Lock with the Saracens. Saracens archers, bonus damage against buildings makes it easier to break through the palisade walls. And making even Feudal Age archers aggression a potential option here. Budsnock loses or takes 1 hit from Young Panda Scout here, tries to claim the hill, and Young Panda doesn't take the bait. It ends with just 1 hit there for now. Not committing to a Scout fight. Young Panda with the Ethiopians here. So, like we saw in the previous game, Ethiopians with faster firing archers. It was Banstenok playing the Ethiopians for that one. And that's probably what we're going to be seeing for the Ethiopians. We're going to see the archers. I guess in theory you could go Men-at-Arms and archers as well. I've seen it in Hideout a few times, but you're heavily dependent on being able to break through the walls by doing that, so you might as well just go straight archers or go cast stage and crossbows and just rely on walling or defense in the meantime. So for the Noobsquad's pocket, we have Pete 261A6 with the Cumans. So also commonly seen on Hideout with the Cumans is the second, well, a fast Feudal Age as we're seeing here, 19 pop in the case of Pete, and he's probably going to collect enough wood to drop a Feudal Age second town center to kickstart the boom, Cumans being the only civilization that can place a second town center in the Feudal Age, which will, assuming your flanks keep the opponents busy, will give the humans a huge head start to the boom and a massive cavalry dominance in the castle age, or potentially placing a couple of castles and doing a 2 TC fast-ish Imperial Age, playing Kipchaks and trebuchets, for example. Cubans also get cap ramps in the castle age, which could come into play here to break through the walls and assist whatever your flanks are doing. But this, at the very least, looks like a second town center build to me. Symptom at 19 pop up here and dropping the barracks. So it is going to be some kind of infantry play here, maybe. Or maybe not, the barracks is really late. This is fast feudal into eco upgrades for the Vikings here, and then gas stage. Not quite sure what to expect here. Robo, however, with the also the 20 pop up here with the Britons, you harvest the sheep more quickly, so that boosts your uptime a little bit. Here comes a tower. Let's see if Robo is mining stone as well. Is indeed doing so. So this is to become the men-at-arms and towers against the Vikings here for Robo. So nice way to buy time for the Cuman's pocket to establish that feudalation boom. Could even add some scouts, Pete, if he doesn't want to go fully for the boom, and assist in that way to deal further damage from the side. Top side, also a towers play here for Young Panda, or Men-at-Arms towers, on both sides. So it's not unheard of by any means on Hideout display. It's a good way to apply feudal age pressure. Parabellum seem to be expected it though, because they're all in the feudal age nice and early as well. Khmer could still go up to the cast age at a comfortable time, which could render this feudal age pressure at risk of being taken down by some early Khmer knights on either side here. Robo with another tower going up here is sending the men-at-arms in a different direction here, also getting some good hits in on Symptom's scout, dodging the TC shots there. But the main goal here is to buy time for their Cuman's pocket to just boom away and establish an economic advantage here, or at least match the Khmer, which is going to the cast stage at 24 pop here. Will probably be placing 2 TCs right away once that's established. Bonstock here, probably been up against this before. It's making the archers and Saracen's archers, they have bonus attack against buildings as well, so you could sit underneath towers and take them out. As long as the towers aren't walled in, you could also batter them down with villagers, but doesn't look like Bonstock wants to risk that at this point. He is in fact aiming for the next age here, perhaps. Nah, he doesn't have the food eco by any means to go to the castle age, so that's not an option here. Red flaring some the fact that Robo is moving on to YOLO Boy in the pocket here with the men-at-arms, just to disrupt a little bit, force some quick houses, force some repairs. I've been talking about YOLO Boy going for the boom here, but here's a stable. Some castle age armies would be very helpful to either flank side here to help clean up the aggression, while they're doing their best to hold through defensive towers here. Is that only one forward villager left for Robo here? Maybe he taxed the other ones home, I'm not sure. So one stable and one TC here for YOLO Boy, and adapting the plans a little bit here. Instead of 3 TCs now, 2 stables and some knights. And Knight actually getting some free hits in on the men-at-arms there, so that's going to might just be enough to clean up the men-at-arms using only one knight. More towers for Young Panda, but not succeeding in hitting the economy. Bonstock is actually stabilizing nicely here. Only missing the Saracen's market here to really benefit from the Saracen's pick here for Bonstock. With the market, you could tweak your resources, like wood, into gold or whatever else you might need to produce more archers, or just transition into the next age. And he's also going for a little bit of counter-attack here, which I think is a smart move. If he takes Young Panda off stone, that means fewer towers. Immediate reaction by Young Panda though, and also dropping the archery range at home to maybe prep some... Yeah, it has to be the skirmishers because it's not on gold yet. Or wait, Young Panda actually gets that Ethiopians, gold for Ethiopians for reaching the next stage, so could also add at least one archer here. So, completely free feudal boom here for Pete. Pete committing all of that wood into farms here. A little bit committed to gold now as well. Blacksmith stable coming up here. The barracks is already up, placed up against the wall, so sort of fortifying the walls here while allowing units to emerge on the proper side of the wall. Second stable even, and Castle Age now on the way. 54 economy to the Khmer 34, because Yellow Boy did need to get some armies out to aid the teammates here. Looks like Monstock survived the pressure nicely though, and sends another wave of archers forward here. However, running into skirms, not ideal, and now being trapped here by Young Panda, sacrificing one builder to re-wall that gate that got broken by the Saracen archers. Now wanting to stonewall off the side here to keep any aggression out. I don't think Monstock will allow that. So everyone transitioning towards the next stage here, except for Young Panda, who's been more heavily invested into the feudal age. So until the opposing pocket brings some army assistance, cavalry army assistance here, it's fine to use skirmishes, but usually we don't see a lot of skirmishes in team games because they will easily be rammed down by enemy cavalry. There's the Castlate procurements, triple stables, and even a third TC going up here just to further keep up that economy lead. It's triple TCs for the Khmer, so the purple player is catching up here. However, on the flank sides is looking a bit rough for Symptom here. Has crossbow in as well, but he's up against the Britons, where Robo will have, when the Bodkin arrow is affordable, will have one extra range, and still has these towers to provide some protection for the crossbows as well. So the men-at-arms towers into crossbows here for the Britons is really working out to keep the red player busy here. Bodkin is in, so now the crossbows outrange mangonels as well. Double range production for Robo here, while Symptom is going a little bit more into boom mode, or just to further defend the base from crossbow aggression. 45 to 46, the villager count is pretty even. So, looks like Symptom might be stabilizing a bit here. However, now Pete, having had that free feudal age boom, is still ahead of the Khmer pocket in economy units total, and also finds his way over here with an increasing amount of knights now, about to have fully upgraded humans. Castle Age knights here, it's only 6 knights for Yellow Boy now for the time being, and it's triple stables, 15 knights and counting for Pete. So Pete is going to field much more cavalry here than YOLO Boy can keep up with until the quadruple TC boom starts to kick in here. So assuming YOLO Boy is able to keep all these TCs producing, YOLO Boy should be able to catch up with the villager count of the humans. Ooh. 3 mangonels, no less, for Simcom here to try and push the Britons. It's true that Britain's crossbows, they outrange mangonels, but will you have the courage to try and micro down 3 mangonels? That's the question. We do have some pocket arms on the right hand side as well, though, so Pete splitting the attention nicely here as another TC goes up on this fantastic neutral gold here. Double neutral gold, good spot. It's not something you see every day, but that's obviously a beautiful TC spot to have. Stone walls complete on the left hand side here. Young Panda with University as well, allowing for ballistics eventually, and chemistry in the Imperial Age. Let's see if the Cuban's Knights are able to deal with the 2 mangonels, 3 mangonels. Ooh, and Robo should be able to deal with the last one there if the Knights don't. Oh, that's such a clean up. 4 mangonels, that's hundreds of wood and gold going down for Simtom there. Arguably going to waste since the mangonels didn't get any of these huge splatter shots in. 1 TC for Bansnock, 2 TCs for Simtom, and 4 TCs each for Britons and Cumans here. Noobsquad, again assuming a villager lead here. The military situation is comparable, so good army production from Parabellum as well. But it's always rough to be up against that extra Britons range. Still good defense for Balstock here, is taking down the offensive towers now as well. Where was the Cumans cavalry? It's yeah, half and half on either side here. 28 crossbows total for Robo, but not all of them forward. It's a 2 vs 2 fight here, but Noobsquad heavily outnumbered in this fight. Thinking long term, this is going to help an eventual trade route on the edges here as well for Noobsquad, but it's more importantly keeping the Cuman's base safe from raids at home here. See here, we will be seeing the Cumans going Imperial Age soon. The resource bar definitely indicates that the army numbers are still ahead for the green player. And horse color just now for the Khmer. I guess with the Khmer it's not that important, but you're still going to deplete the farms more quickly. Yeah, it's important. If you get horse color this late, or if you have this many farms and just now get horse color, that's going to be so much wood going down to when you need to replenish them. Let's have a look at the matchup of armies here. Should be quite even. Cavalry numbers matching crossbow numbers. Again, the mangonel goes down. So many mangonels lost for Simtom this game. Not easy to play the mangonels against the Britons. Bansnock and Young Panda, they're somewhat matching economy. Young Panda slightly lower military, but that could change quickly with a good mangonel shot. Good split by Banstock. Again, defending nicely here. Focusing on that Mangalov with his fast firing Ethiopians crossbows. But the stone walls to the side here, fortified walls at that, for Young Panda, is at the very least going to keep any aggression from Banstock away here at this angle. Banstock is heavy on stone as well, so I think he wants to get a castle up on the crossing here to limit aggression from Noobsquad on this top left side here. The right hand side is where the action is at though, and now Noobsquad seems to have the numbers and that, and Imperial Age 4 decumens as well. Cavalier coming immediately, and I would expect to see plate parting armor as well. There it is. Britain's castle going up as well. The resources for Imperial Age are there, but are we going to see the click? There it is from yeah, home base DC, so safe from aggression here. Only gold missing for the Vikings player to go up as well. The castles is here. Vikings stables though. Are we anticipating a goldless situation here for the Vikings? They did not establish trade just yet. The market's now going up for Robo here. So they're thinking ahead about that long-term trade route. Banstock now down to 6 crossbowmen. I must have missed a big fight on this side. Young Panda and Pete working together, likely here. Yeah, Banstock is losing both armies and position here. Young Panda getting some good raids in with the Ethiopians crossbows. They fire faster, as we know, and will hence kill villagers a lot more quickly. Oh, it's gonna commit. No, that castle's gonna be denied of your little boy here. It's in the Imperial Age. We'll have access to trebuchets as Banstock pushes up more ranges here and scrambles to replenish the crossbow numbers. He's at 38 villagers to Young Panda's 66 now, though, or more importantly, it's 4 times the military of Young Panda here in terms of crossbow numbers. Right hand side. 45 volts going up for Robo here as well, and the markets are in place in the corners as we can see. That is not the case for Parabellum. They either haven't thought of it yet or they just don't feel it's safe enough to start yet, but they are stonewalling off this side at the very least, and they are securing some area here with castles to some extent as well, but they are falling too far behind in score and in military position here. It's 3 times the military for Noobsquad. Pete barely ever getting touched at home base. He only lost 5 villagers, which makes for a very good Cuman's economic situation. GG. Right, maybe we won't see the numbers here at all. Young Panda making great efforts there to keep Banstock busy and keep the army numbers down. Constant pressure from the very early men-at-arms and towers, then into the archers follow-up, and somehow able to stonewall the left-hand side as well. Often seen on hideout to secure one side, so the push can be focused mainly on the other side. Cuban's economy shining here with their 2 TCs. 19 population feudal age there, almost flawless. I think it's like 2 seconds away from perfect. And otherwise, early uptimes for all of the flanks here to keep each other busy in the end. Huge Khmer boom there, but not nearly enough military to keep up with the humans.